Good morning, everyone. Today is April the 28th, 2021. This is StockCast, your pre-market show. My name is James Mason. With me, we have Todd Derby. Todd, how you doing this morning?
I am doing well. looking forward to getting out of this slow period and get back to where with some volatility in the market, we can have some fun making some money.
Yeah, so come on, August.
No kidding.
All right, so for the Dow futures, we are currently negative 75 points. S&P 500, we are positive 1 point. So let's see what this brings. It's probably going to be choppy, which seems to be the case every day. So yeah, nothing new there. Other than that, man. All right, Todd. I guess we'll just go ahead and get into it. So if you guys haven't noticed that, yeah, we kind of just make this up as we go along.
Probably the highlight of the day is picking out what shirt I'm going to wear.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at ticker TIRX. Pull up some info on it first. All right. Here we are on the 5-minute chart, TIRX. This is the pre-market today, but look at the pre-market yesterday. We can see that it pushed up, had a run in the middle of the day, pulled back in the middle of the day, and then it's kind of doing its thing going sideways here overall. Now, this is going to fake a lot of people out. If you weren't in back here, then I wouldn't try to get in right now. And the reason why, look at the 1 year, 1 day chart. This is that ticker that just got absolutely demolished the other day. It literally went from opening up right here at $90.68, hit a high that day of $97.92, and ended the day at $18 with a low of $12.15. So they absolutely just got killed. And then the following days was just a little bit of selling off, which this was probably just like pretty much people coming in to short it for a little bit, kind of pick some stuff off, and then the few people who weren't paying attention this day saying, screw it, they lost everything, and they're just going to take what's left and hopefully nothing bad happened in their lives. I mean, that's one of those candles that become life-altering right there if you're all in it. So anyways, yesterday we see this nice push-up, a lot of volume, but really what this is the institutions, the big people who came in and shorted this down. They were just covered. So don't get caught up in probably what seems like hype here. People probably thinking that, oh, we jump in now, we can push this up. We have a range up to $90. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. So really what to look out for here is this thing faking out people, making them believe it's going to push up some more, and it's just going to keep selling off. It's going to come back down here and just dance around, and then we'll have a little spike in the future coming up some, and it's just going to kind of keep chopping around. It could sell off more. So that is what I see with ticker TIRX. And just kind of hitting with a little bit of information on their share structure. So shares outstanding, 6.7 million shares, the float 2.4. So very, very small float here. But again, with the small floats and how easy it is to make them go up, it's just the same as making them go down. So be careful trading TIRX. So the other one was ticker AKTX. And these guys just released news this morning that they got a FDA fast track, which I haven't really looked too much in it, but let's look at the 5-minute chart and we'll come back to this daily chart right here. So we can see this quick spike up to about 320, and then it quickly pulled back Here we are, just making a little push up. What's happening here is these retail traders getting faked out. These guys are probably going to get smoked here soon. But look at this RSI on the 5-minute chart. I mean, it's just screaming. Its high for the RSI was 91.29. So that's just way too high. Like, you can't jump into it right now. So what's going to happen is this thing is going to pull back. It's going to cool off on the RSI. And then at some point later, maybe later in the day, I don't know, it could be tomorrow, it could be next week. No one really knows until it happens. This thing will pull back, and then it will come back up to break this 70 threshold. And that 70 threshold will probably start to push it up to test them maybe 320, maybe a little bit more again, but then it's going to get clobbered after that. Now, let's look at the daily chart here. I'll draw a line to highlight this better for y'all. All right, so this blue line is where we're currently at pre-market, and you can look at these daily candlesticks of just this gap up. So it gapped up, and then it ran up here to 320, this yellow line. Now, you can look at that 320 and see how there's a lot of resistance there, but it's also a breakout point. And to get kind of technical, the breakout point would probably be, well, really right in here. It's a lot higher at 360, but still, like with this gap up like that, and then it running up and hitting 320, then pulling back so much already, it's probably not going to break above that 320 today. And if it does, it's just going to be a daily event, more than likely. Yeah, I think there's not much going on in pre-market today, or at least yet. And the people looking to short stuff, it's slim pickings for them. So with there being fewer stuff for them to short, they all just kind of like target the only few things out here, and it makes it harder for the bulls to come in and enjoy a run. So the bears are always screwing it up for everyone, even though I tend to short once in a while. But I haven't shorted in a long time, actually. So yeah, just be careful on ticker AKTX. I mean, that is pretty good news. But a lot of people are going to get just psyched out on this today, and it's going to suck for them. I do overall, unless if some FOMO push comes out of this, I do overall see this thing pulling back. And when I say pulling back, I'm kind of expecting it to probably pull back about midway. Let's see, I'll just draw some lines. I do see it pulling back in between this 244 and 266 range, and probably just kind of hanging out in there in that little channel for a little while until it decides to make that little second attempt up today. Well, if it happens today, make that second attempt to make that run, and then probably die off, come back down in this range, and then moving forward. Now, if we're talking in the context of days to maybe weeks ahead, where this thing is, let me remove this line real quick. All right, so if we're talking in context of this being, days to weeks ahead from now, after this gap up and then it sells off on the daily chart right here, once these candlesticks start coming back down around this 200 EMA line, hopefully this thing goes sideways and then starts kind of slowly trending up. Once we get to the point that it's slowly trending back up and then start breaking above this range right here at 285, we'll hopefully, and again, have to be very speculative right here, we'll hopefully get to this point and then they drop a catalyst, something more significant to make this thing actually shoot up and break these highs right here on this daily chart overall, and possibly test highs back here at right around that $5 mark, maybe 5.10. It'd be cool if it could go higher.
But the key today is it's got to break that 320 as a minimum if you're looking to go long.
Yeah, but it would only be a quick day trade.
Yes.
So I still expect it to pull back.
I agree.
So, yeah, just be careful with this one, guys. This one is going to psych a lot of people out. But to update everyone on the share structure, so it pretty much doesn't have anything to really short overall. And when looking at the short interest, well, let me rephrase that, what I just said. When looking at the short interest, there's pretty much nothing there at all. The last update for short interest was 19,100 shares being reported, which is next to nothing at all. That easily could be just a retail trader having a position over last few days since it was last reported. So when there's basically nothing on the short interest and then it spikes up, you can guarantee they're going to come in and short it down hardcore. Now, if we get an update before this thing runs again and say that short interest spikes a lot, say if we go up to, I don't know, let me see what the share structure is. So the float is 20.6 million. Say if we get, I don't know, 1 million, 2 million shares being shorted, which it doesn't look like that right now. But let's just say hypothetically we had 1 million shares being shorted. Once it kind of flatlines like that, like I was saying a few moments ago on the daily chart, like pulling back right down to that 200 EMA line again, and then it starts flatlining, going sideways. And if that short interest is still holding, that's when I would start looking to slowly start taking the smaller entries to scale in. And then hopefully at that point, it starts slowly pushing up, because then those people shorting will start to cover those institutions. So that is what I see for ticker AKTX.
Yeah, and this is a stock that if it breaks 320, I will start to scale in for a short opportunity, and then hopefully it'll run to $374, and then I will start to load up.
Yes. So if this would become a day trade today by breaking like 320, honestly, I'd probably have my stop loss in. And again, I'm just having to kind of speculate right now and envision how these candlesticks would set up. I'd probably, let's see, so right there. Hold on a second. I'd have my stop loss in at 303. That's where I put my stop loss in if I was day trading it. And I would definitely have just a small position. So again, this one is kind of up in the air for today. And I would have to approach this if I was going to take this, if this setup happened. I'd have to approach this with a smaller position and be willing to take profits as quick as possible. Now, we can see that red candle that just flashed right there. That's a good indication that bears are starting to set into this thing, and they're getting ready. So,
they're licking their chops.
Yeah, with that being said, I just saw that flash happen. And again, this is a stock market. Everything changes within just a moment, a blink of an eye. And everything I just told you about day trading this, forget that. Because now I know, I saw it happen right there, before your eyes. That flash told me that there are people loading into this thing to short it. They're just now starting to really get into this. So once this thing bounces, especially if this comes up to 320 now, it's going to be literally stop hammer time. That's about it. Like, they're going to come in and dance all over this thing and beat this bad boy down. So, yeah. I mean, again, like kind of going back to how I was like more positive on it before I saw that flash. That's how things change in the stock market. I could be analyzing something and then I see something just change, a flicker like that. That flicker let me know that there are a lot of eyes on this and a lot of people ready to beat this down.
And if you guys don't know what a flicker is, go to our vocab section and you can read the definition of flicker. There's an explanation there.
All right, let's see what we got going on in the comments. So good morning, everyone who is just now tuning in.
Robert's asking about ARDX. They have a PDUFA date today. And ARDX was an alert we had a while back. It was an alert that I kicked out. And I'm out of ARDX. We had a spike up and many took profits on that on the news about 10 days ago. And today's their PDUFA date. The FDA has been behind because they've been without a commissioner, but they're getting caught up. So I don't know if they're going to have news today or not. But if you're sitting in profits now, best thing I do is my advice is either move a stop loss up or consider trimming your position and taking some profits. I've gotten a little weary of the FDA and the lack of, James and I just talked about this morning, the lack of good news and these tickers not responding like we're hoping they would, making a $3-4 jump. So with that, if you got some profit there, I would consider trimming or moving your stop loss or taking some profits before the news, maybe letting a little bit ride. And you're right, PLX and SLGL both did not have good news this morning. And I wasn't in either of those. Neither of those were alerts, but I'm not willing to gamble too much based on the last couple of tries. Like CYCN, I got smoked. Not smoked, but took a loss yesterday.
So, like Todd was just saying about these FDA stocks and a lot of pre-market stuff in general, not really making these multi-dollar runs. Y'all need to thank y'all's comrades over at Wall Street Bets for screwing up the market for everyone. When all that GameStop stuff started happening, we all said, this is going to change trading forever. And the effects are already taking place. It's just, we know changes have been made in the market, and it's still too early to tell what has been changed. And we'll never fully know what has been changed, but things are trading differently now. And it's a little weird. Like for a lot of y'all who keep up with my trades, just in general, y'all know that, really this last month has just been slow for me. Now, my last big trades have just been like major runners, but overall, like having good runners, it's just been kind of slow. The market has been slow with lower volume and whatnot, but the ones where like calling breakouts, they're breaking out, but it's happening so freaking quick. And it's just because things have changed. They're popping so quick and they're pulling right back. And that's due in part to the hedge funds and the lobbying and everything that has caused whatever algorithms in the market to control it to readjust their strategies. So it's going to take some time for us to really figure out or kind of have an idea of what the market is trying to do and how we should trade it. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to lose money before that happens. Hopefully it's not me. So I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be selfish here. Hopefully it's y'all and not me. Just gonna be selfish and say that. But anyways, honestly, I hope y'all don't lose any money. I was just trying to have a joke there and just be kind of dark. All right, so kind of hitting ARDX again with that PDUFA date. You said it was today, Todd?
Actually, tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, what I would look for here, and let me hit this short interest and all that really quick for y'all for ARDX. So the short interest, last update is 8.8 million shares being shorted. So 13.21% of the float. Days to cover, 8.3. Man, that's pretty nice. Shares outstanding 98.7 million. The float 67 million. So the float ain't too bad. I mean, not the float. The outstanding shares ain't too bad. But what I really like about this one is the amount of shares that are being shorted. The percent of the float is pretty good at 13%, but that days of the cover, I like that at 8.3. So what I would look for here is this thing on the daily chart. And what I mean by the daily chart, I'm just viewing it on the daily chart. So at any point it breaks above 925, that's a key point right there for a breakout. If they have good news, this thing is going to break above 925 and probably take off running pretty good. And let me just draw some ranges here really quick. All right, so here would be the ranges if they release good news with that PDUFA date. And again, you have to know for sure it's good news because the algos can make this thing pop and then pull it right back down and put it into the red. But whenever this happens, it's going to happen quickly. So the break above 925, and hopefully this thing is green today and pushes up to just right before 925. Me personally, I don't want to see it break above 925 until they release the news. Because it's slowly breaking above 925 before that news could set everybody up for a fake out. Now, if they release the news and it's just right under 925, even in this range at 870, I'm cool with that. Because once it breaks 925, if it's actual good news, we can see this thing take on up to 1115 rather quickly. And then if we can actually hold that at 1115, then our next range will be up to a 1418. We'll probably dance around there maybe for a few days. It's really hard to tell. I'm just speculating. But then if it actually commits over 1418, then we do have a range up here to about the mid 16 level. So that is what I would look for on ticker ARDX. So let me just run through the comments really quick. I'm just going to skim through them.
So Ray's asking a question, James. He says, why don't we short more of spikes up to join the bears since it seems to happen all the time? Two reasons. One, unless you have an account size and have a proper trading account, getting shorts to having access to short locates is a challenge. And so that's number one. Number two, if you're wrong, I mean, go parabolic, and sometimes they do run, you can blow your account up pretty quick. I mean, real quick.
Yeah, if you're not skilled and if you don't have a bankroll to back it up, it will devastate your life. Like, it will literally change your entire life. It could take you from having a normal life right now to putting you into deep poverty. That's why we really don't push it and promote it. Now, we will short, but like I said a little bit ago, I haven't really been shorting overall in a while. I mean, I don't know if it has to do with just being busy with trading in general, just doing research, and especially on the company side of Transparent Traders and with development and whatnot. But I just really haven't been shorting a lot. Now, last year, the fourth quarter of last year, I was very heavy into shorting. That's pretty much all I was doing was shorting. But this year, I've pretty much come out and I've been just hardcore bullish on these smaller caps, taking these longer term, multi-week to multi-month swing trades. And I'm actually ahead of the game in terms of like a P&L for myself at this point of the year compared into the past. Now, for me with shorting, I do make good money, it is quick money, but at the same time, as quick as it can become quick profits, man, it sucks when it's going against you.
Well,
Like,
here's the worst scenario. Let's say you're in it, you get into a short at an average price of $10, and you cut it at 15 because that's where your loss is at, and then 90 minutes later it's at 850. Like that mentally is hard to know that you were right and you cut your loss because you didn't want to blow your account up or you took a big loss, but literally an hour or 2 hours later the stock does a reversal and drops to where you thought it was supposed to go, and you were just wrong by 90 minutes. That is mentally tough.
I've been wrong by seconds. And the last one I was really wrong on was ticker STAF last year, and it was this day right here. So, yeah, I think I took a 17,000 and some odd dollar loss here. So I started shorting it in the after hours before this big red candle. So I started shorting it the day before, and I was actually trying to get out with a small profit, but for whatever reason, the broker wouldn't let me sell. I could not get out of this short at all. And I went from a small profit to a pretty significant loss the next day because it had gapped up on me. And it was the worst thing that could have happened to me. So it gapped up. It started running. I was averaging in, and it got up here. So it rejected around, I think it went just a little bit higher because this don't really pull up pre-market all the way on the daily chart. But right here it says 334. I remember cutting it about 310, somewhere in there. And literally when I say this thing had a high of 334, it spiked up, and it was probably up there for 2 minutes, 3 minutes maybe, and then it shot all the way down to like 286. And at like 286 was like my average being short, and I had already ate that massive loss because I thought it was gonna turn into a black swan, and I just had too many shares short already, and I didn't want it to literally erase my entire life here. But it was just minutes later, it went back in my favor and just plummeted and went all the way down to $1.32. And that's just how it works.
Yeah, it just sucks.
Yeah, and with technical analysis, only goes so far with shorting. I mean, you can be spot on a lot of times. You can be spot on 99 times. And out of 100 times, that one time you're wrong, undo the 99 times and then some. That's how bad it can get with shorting. So that's why we don't really push it here or promote it with everyone. We just don't want to turn people's lives upside down by making them get a thought in their head. I mean, it wouldn't be our fault, but we just rather not have new traders thinking that way. So let's see. I'm going to answer a quick question. So thoughts on PHUN? We haven't talked about this one in a while. I am still bullish on this, and Todd and I actually spoke about this one in the pre-market. If you look at these daily candlesticks, this daily chart, it's literally the same pattern as POAI. So watch, I'm just going to click back and forth. So this is PHUN. This is POAI. Now back to PHUN. It is literally identical. So hopefully, for whatever reason, this thing is just kind of following its small cap market. You know, same thing for predictive oncology as well. Hopefully, okay, so my plan here is with POAI. I want to see it pop off with the catalyst so I can collect my profits and move on so I can start putting more money into PHUN. I have a smaller position here. And again, I want to use some profits for whenever predictive oncology happens and kind of funnel it into here. And then obviously that one pop off soon after. But hopefully when they start popping off, I hope they don't pop off at the same time just because I want a larger position here. I just want to be greedy. I'm not gonna lie. I want to be freaking greedy. I want my cake and eat it too with POAI. Take my profits, dump it 100% into PHUN, go all in, crush it there, take all of that into next ticker. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want.
You want to double.
I just want to be greedy and make more money. So yeah, I still feel positive on Funware Incorporated, PHUN. So that is all I have for today, Todd. Do you have anything?
Nothing. Good luck, everyone. Have a good day. Be safe, and see you tomorrow morning.
Yes, absolutely. So everyone, trade safe, trade smart, and we will catch y'all in the next one.